My name is Lou, and yeah, you know what, like I do a lot of talks, but I still get really nervous before every single talk, you know? Like I think that's part of why I enjoy them so much, like in like demos, but I still feel like, anyway, so I'm part of this Tentpole collective, and the name of my presentation today is Arroost, Unblocking Creation with Friends. And so part one is about creation, or more specifically, creative work. And so for me, creative work is when you use your imagination to make something. And it could be anything. It could be baking a cake, writing something, programming a program, like doing a presentation, making a song. And I think like when we're being creative, we have all these blockers, right, that get in our way. Like, think about like what stopped you from doing creative work, which is very important work, right? It could be that you've just run out of paint, right? So you can't do your painting. Or it could be that you don't know how to use this programming language, or you feel too nervous to go up on stage. Yeah, there it is. It's a slight delay. I'll factor that in, right? Funnily enough, I experienced all of these today. And, you know, but there are so many different blockers that we could feel, right? You could probably think of some of your own. And we could take a look at these, and I think we could like map them out, right? We could map them into different categories. We could like categorize them. We could put them in a scale. And I'm just starting my timer now. Boom. So I think we could map them out like this, right? We could say some of them are, I think some of them are intellectual blockers, and some of them are emotional blockers. It doesn't mean anything. I just made up these terms, right? It doesn't mean anything. But I'm going to tell you what it means in a second. So let's color code them. Let's color code them. Look, I've color coded them all, and we could like split them all out. So here we have intellectual blockers at the bottom. And for me, this is like when you can't figure out how to do something. You don't have the resources, materials, or the brain power to figure out how to make the thing you want to make. And emotional blockers, I think they're really different. It's when you know how to figure out something, but your emotions get in the way, right? You feel too distracted or shy or nervous or something else. And I think live coding, it's got too many syllables, and I have 14 minutes. Live coding is great for tackling many of these creative blockers, right? So like this is like the canonical example of using live coding for being creative, doing creative work, right? Which Joshua said earlier. If you're on catch-up, go watch it. And Untangled does the same sort of thing. It helps you to figure out what you're doing when you're being creative. This is Strudel by Felix Roos. It's a live programming tool, and it visualizes the different parts of your program that are running. It helps you figure out what's going on in your program. But I think we have this huge bias towards solving intellectual blockers. I think we often ignore, or at least we're not explicit about, emotional blockers, in my opinion. So, you know, like we're so focused on tools for thought. It's all about like the thinking, sometimes the feeling, like the last talk. But usually it's about tools for thought, right? Like we have this huge, I think we have this huge bias towards the bicycle for the mind, right? Everyone's trying to make the bicycle for the mind. And I think that's great, but like, I think we need the bicycle for the heart. No, that's too cheesy. I would never. Anyway, so you know, there are lots of tools out there. They're not live coding tools, but there are tools out there that try to help you get over emotional blockers, like TL Draw, which uses sloppiness to make you stop trying to be perfect and just make stuff, right? And there's Sunspiel, right, which is a video game, but people don't use it as a video game. They use it as an art tool. People draw in it. Like, why would they do that? Why would they draw in a video game and not something like Photoshop? Why? Like, that should make us ask these questions when we see something strange like this. And the reason is people often explain it, and you just read the comments. They say, you know, it's something about drawing and creating in an environment of play, and it's about the expectations. You're not expected to draw something good with Sunspiel, so you feel more free to draw something good, right? Electroplankton is this musical instrument that you do not control. You don't control it. You just influence it. So if it makes something bad, it's not your fault. There are no emotional blockers. The responsibility is taken away from you. And the automaton is this toy musical instrument. But the weird thing about it, despite being a toy, it's actually really hard to play. And that's very emotionally and creatively freeing because there's no expectations. So hey, look, that's Haley. Haley, okay, Haley, can you record a sound? Perfect. Okay, and go back. I'm going to show you one more time. And next up, listen to this beautiful, beautiful voice. You've come in at the right time, yeah. Perfect. Okay, and go back. And the algorithm community has this culture of embracing mistakes and encouraging newcomers, right? And so, in live programming tools like Strudel and tidal cycles, the community is one of its features. Right, that's one of its features of this live programming tool, is the community. So, right, part 2, Arroost. Orion, where are you? You need to come up. Great. So I thought, could I try to, as a thought experiment, try to combine many of these strengths together into one tool? And what's happened is that it's made something completely ridiculous, right? Yeah, you just hold this, just roughly here.
Right about
No, here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so when you load Arroost, you're presented with this, you're doing great. You're presented with this mantra, and it says normalize sharing scrappy fiddles. And what that means is that when someone makes something sort of that they're a bit shy about, that should be normal. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just normal, right? It's part of the culture of this. And when you click, thanks. And when you click on the screen, did you see that circle? Just appear from I'm going to do it again, right? Watch. I click on the screen and the circle appears, and it actually appears somewhere random. All right, okay, I promise it's random, right? Okay. So I didn't make this. Arroost made that little shape, okay? And that's part of the feeling that it's creating, is that you're not in control. Arroost is in control. Arroost made it. Right, and I can move it around. This is like a little simulation. I can zoom in, I can drag the camera like this, and it should feel like I'm interacting or influencing a physical simulation, right? And I can click on this and click again somewhere else, and it makes this other shape that I can also move around. And let's hope this works. If I click it, I can record something. No, I cannot. Right, let's try again. Let's see. One. Oh, yeah, that worked too much. Yeah, I think down a bit. Yeah, okay, great. So I've recorded this sound. And I can keep recording more sounds. 2, right? And what I can do is I can change the starting point of this sound. 2. So I can make it start later, or I can make it start earlier. But really importantly, it's really hard. I can't see anything. I've been intentionally, there's really bad granularity of feedback here, right? I can't see exactly where the sound wave is, and that's on purpose. So you stop fussing over it. It's just, I just guess, right? Around like this. What I can also do is move them up and down.
1,
2.
1, 2.
And I can change the pitch. 1. And this does a couple of things. Partly it sounds funny and silly. I could go like this. I could go right, and then I've sort of made a musical instrument. A little bit further away. Yeah. And delete that. And so partly it sounds silly, so it's like a way of loosening you up. It's like an icebreaker, right? But partly it sort of stops you from fiddling and moving things around, because every time you move a sound, there's a risk that you accidentally mess up its pitch. So if I create another one, 3. 3. If I move it over here, there's a chance that it messes up the pitch.
3.
So I don't want to do that. This is encouraging you to just leave it alone. Don't move your sounds. Leave them where they are. It's okay to be messy. And you see this? I can delete sounds that I don't want. The thing is, some of them are too important. So like, I can't delete the creation block. It comes back, right? So if I delete this, it'll just appear again. Like even if I zoom out, even if I zoom out a long way, like if I delete it there, it's over here, right? Yeah, and yeah, you just saw that. Don't worry about zooming out too far. You can't get lost, right? You just like you can zoom all the way in and then all the way out. Yeah, whatever. It's just a gimmick. And so this one, it lets you connect things together. And this lets you create more interesting sounds, because you can play two sounds on the same beat, right? This connects them, and it's two sounds on the same beat. 3. And you can connect multiple, like in a chain. 3. Right? Or you can do like stuff like this. 3. Right? And what you can do is you can click this button here. Instead of making it fire on the same beat, you make it fire one beat later. So watch this. 1, 2. And you can start to create like a chain, right? 1, 2, 3. And then you can like make a loop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is like a really simple way. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, that's going to be a bad one. All right. 1, 2, 3. 3. This is like a really simple way of making simple beats. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So remember, this makes it fire one beat later. If I click it again, listen. If I click it again, it makes it fire one beat earlier. This was really hard to program, right? So like, I'm going to press it, and you're going to hear 1, and then you'll hear 2, but like in the past, right? 1. Did you hear the 2? No? 1. We can't hear the past, right? So what you have to do is like you send like a signal into the future, which sends it to the past, which ends up being the present. 2, 1. Or you could like flip it and send it to the past, which then comes back to the future. 2. Right? You following, right? Right. Very simple. So there's one last thing. You can change the color of a wire, and it changes the color of the pulse that passes through, like this. And like so, red pulses only don't pass through wires of different colors. And you can use this as a way of like doing control flow. And the fun thing is that you can like combine different colors together to make patterns like this, right? And you can like mix colors. Oh, no, wait. Let's see. This needs to be white, and this I'll do blue. We combine like blue and green together, and you get different. You invent new colors, right? And this, thank you. You've done very well there. You can leave that now. So you can use this color system to make all sorts of logic gates and things, and people in the community have built amazing things, like this is a bit adder. Here's a NOT gate using another feature. So this is Turing complete. Stop asking me about it, right? But the more interesting thing for me is that this is Ivan Reis made this song using Arroost. And instead of programming really complicated things, the easiest thing to do is just to perform it, right? You can see he's like clicking different parts of this instrument he's made. And I'm really, really pleased that lots of people have made different music, well, they've live programmed musical instruments for themselves to play and perform. Here's one from Avon, and each one has like an element of, I was worried that all songs made with Arroost would sound the same, but they all have that person's personality in them. Here's one by Alex McLean from the live programming world, using samples. But some people like Elliot Evans use what they have around them, like typing and tapping things to make different kinds of noises. This is one of my favorites. This is non-nullish, and I think she said her boyfriend was like using a hairdryer or something, and she's used it to make like a nice little song. I'm going to hurry up. Right, so I was really pleased that so many different people used Arroost. One of those people was Shane Crowley, who wrote up their experience of trying Arroost in a blog post. And I'm really, really pleased like the effect it had on them. They said that their discovery of Arroost led to a sudden burst of music making, not just in Arroost, but in other things as well. It got them back to a place where they could make something. So that for me was really, I was really pleased to see that. Also, reviewer C said they had the same thing happen to them. They said they'd been blocked on composition of music, even though they do a lot of music themselves, and they found that making music with Arroost was quite freeing. So this for me was, yeah, I was really happy to see that. It also changed me a lot. I used to be very shy about making and sharing music, and it completely changed that for me. It also changed the kind of music that I make with other instruments and tools. Like, here's one I made last night in the hotel. I think you heard it a bit earlier. It's nothing really. Like, so this is using Flock by Damien Silvani. So my hope is that, this is just a very silly, ridiculous thought experiment. My hope is that it starts a conversation about emotional blockers. We don't just want to help people think better. We want to help people to feel better. Not like feel good. Not feel good. When I say feel better, I don't think it's enough that a tool feels good. I know lots of people want their tool to feel good to use, but feeling good is not the same as feeling free from emotional blockers. Getting through a blocker can be uncomfortable, it can be painful. And I think we should make tools that help people do that, because that's sometimes what we want. The most surprising thing to me was seeing that the most important part of Arroost was not anything I did, it was from the community. And that was really surprising and enlightening for me, and I'm still learning what that means. Like I said, I put out this mantra, and people have really run with it. It's gone a bit crazy. Like it's getting a little bit, it's getting a little bit out of hand, right? It's sort of, and I think it's really important that when we build tools, it's not just about the tool. It's about building a community, or it's about making room for community to grow. Because there's no point doing any of this in isolation. So this is nothing to do with Arroost, but Arroost led me to this point. This is a song that has been made by about 10 to 15 people over the course of 2 days, all collaborating in this shared environment with Strudel and Hydra, and it's Flock. And a lot of these people are sort of repeating this mantra of normalize sharing scrappy fiddles. And so I encourage you, as people building tools or building things, don't do it in isolation. You're going to learn so much more by sharing your work, making it open, and getting other people involved. That's the end. Thank you.